All right, welcome back, Bucks and Brews. We're on the air tonight, and we kind of have all this little stuff that doesn't make a show that we never get to talk about much. So I thought we'd kind of hit that stuff up tonight. So, for example, Nick went to court today.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a fun little story we're going to talk about. We got Mike in studio. Mike's going to, tell us how he's doing with DoorDash and getting some extra investments out there. Tell us if he has any hot stock tips or anything, because we know Mike does not study the market at all. He just goes off gut, which is perfectly fine, because a lot of us do that. I got a few things here and there, and we're just going to kind of see where it takes us, because we like to talk, and there's really kind of nothing wrong with that, is there?
I don't see a problem with it, especially when I get to drink. So speaking of that, what are you drinking, David?
Oh my, Nick, I am so excited about drinks tonight. So Mike and I just got back from dinner. We took my daughter out for her 26th birthday, which is tomorrow.
Yeah.
And we went to the Mitten.
It's a good place.
We got some pizzas. Mike had a very interesting pizza he'll tell you about in a minute.
Hot dog? Hot dog?
No. And while we were there, we had some peanuts and Cracker Jack, but variants. So we drank the banana cream when we were there.
Ooh.
And then we each got a raspberry jam, peanut and Cracker Jack, and then each bought a banana cream to come home with. And then I bought a 4-pack variety pack the other day. And Nick, why don't you tell me what you're starting with tonight?
Let's say tonight I get to start with the Mitten Brewing Imperial Peanuts and Cracker Jack. So everybody knows I'm an Imperial fan. Darker, robust, just going to be a fantastic beer. So I'm starting with that. And then, so my Tigers played today.
They did.
We do a walk-off. It's 75, almost 78 degrees. It just hit high. So I was like, I'm in the season. So stopped and grabbed Mike's Hard Pomegranate Lemonade Seasonal.
That sounds delicious.
I'm very excited for that too.
Plus, he did it because he knew I was going to be here.
That's exactly it.
It's Mike's. I mean, he makes residuals off that. He makes a whole 1/100th of a penny. So
Off of every billion sold.
Correct. So he never gets anything. You want to finish that raspberry?
I do.
There you go.
I end up having a raspberry now. So
you're welcome. I brought Nick all the good stuff. And Mike, obviously, we know what you're drinking. What do you think of it?
That's great.
It's really good.
It just
You get the raspberry taste, but it's not too overpowering, so it's not too sweet.
Yeah, man. Say that's really good, but this Imperial knocks it out of the park.
I know you were a big fan of the Imperials.
Yeah,
That's why I was okay handing that to you. I went to Rishi's the other day with Caitlin because she's buying stuff for her birthday party.
Yeah.
And you can buy a 4-pack of any of the variants.
Oh,
there, which, I tried to do that at Mitten, but they're only selling the variety 4-pack. You can't buy just forced raspberry.
Sure.
So I was like, man, if I go to Rishi's again and it's still there, I might have to do that up. Rishi, great beer selection.
Yeah, I see.
I picked up some fun stuff there the other day that I'll be drinking in the next few episodes.
So I say some of the biggest liquor selection I know of in Grand Rapids. So
Phenomenal.
It's what it used to be a Hooters, right?
It used to be Hooters.
Think about that, folks. Like, this used to be a restaurant, right? Like full, and so they gutted it, and now the entire building is alcohol.
Yeah.
I mean, if I put a number on it, let's say at least 40 cooler doors, right? I mean, like it's just huge, and then the walk-in and just every shelf. These are. It reminds me of rich people books, like their library, because you have to get on a ladder to get some of these things. And they'll go get them top shelf stuff. The ceiling
Beers,
is so high.
liquor, wine,
Anything
cider, meads.
Yep. Let's say if it's made and you can get it in Michigan, they're gonna have it. So when Yuengling gets in, they'll have just mounds of it. So, but. All right, yeah. Started out my morning.
Yeah, let's hear about this because I always love a good court case.
I do enjoy a good court case. So
this one sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, this one's been an ongoing case. So I'll start with the backstory, right? The tenant moves in and starts complaining that the place isn't clean and there's a couple other things.
This is different than the one that we talked about the other day.
No, it's probably I don't know. I've gone to so many court cases.
The one that kept showing up on the porch.
No, completely different one.
Okay, so,
Completely.
okay.
Say,
It's not porch people.
yeah, no, this is a different one.
Okay,
And right, so this is probably 6 months ago or so, like, so we credit the tenant some money. She's like, hey, I didn't move in this. So we're like, all right, cool. You didn't move in. We'll just count it as the first. We'll give you your money back for this. Fix the stuff that we need done. She calls and complains. One of my favorite stories, and I will live it for the rest of my life. Tenant calls and complains that the oven smells like gas. And I said, okay.
wait. Nick, can I ask?
Of course.
Is it a gas oven?
This is not a gas oven.
Okay.
So I know that this is an electric oven.
Right.
So
There's no way in hell it can smell like gas.
I'm laughing about this, right? I'm like, you know what? Like, because, and I tell this to everybody, not just her, but like whatever. And DTE, I was like, call DTE and tell them that you have a gas leak and they'll get it taken care of. And and I was like, I really want to be able to record this, right? Because I want to. Oh yeah, so
You totally set it up.
right? Like, how do you fight this? So, complains about other stuff. Anyway, so we give her a credit.
Okay.
And we're like, hey, this is all we're gonna give you. Don't ask for any more. Like, we've given her a cleaning back. We've given her this. And so, like, the next month comes around and she just decides to not pay $200 more, right? Because that's the amount of credit she wanted. And we gave her $400 and something. I don't even know anymore. And she just decides to withhold $200 some bucks. So, because she can. And so we go, months and months, keep fighting with her and stuff. And get to court today, right, for the final actual trial. And before that, we reach out to her and we're like, hey, right now you're at almost $500, right? If you just pay it now, if you pay us the $200, we'll waive your late fees. We'll waive. My lawyer's like, hey, I won't charge for this court cost. My owner's gonna have to eat the court cost because we did go to court already.
Yep.
We're like, hey, pay us $200 and we'll be fine. Nope. So we sit in front of the judge, and the judge goes, hey, we're here, and she goes, I'm paid up, and she's like, I'm paid up, everything's fine, everything's this, and this is where we're at. And so I was like, my lawyer stands up and he goes, she says she's paid up, she's not paid up, she withheld her own money, like walked kind of through it. And like during this time, like this girl is like, telling the judge the entire, like, hey, this wasn't, okay, so appliances got ordered and it was on the listing that, hey, there's older appliances, but new ones are ordered. They're on the way. Here's the date. Well, the date got kicked back 2 weeks and the date got kicked back 2 more weeks after that because of COVID. There was nothing. If you ever tried to buy an appliance right now, you're just not going to get the one you want.
It's the same with lumber and everything else.
So
they're not working to produce these things. I heard yesterday, not to interrupt, but we should get into this a little later. So Ford F-150s, the chip for the F-150s, they can't get them.
Well, it's like they can't get half the electronics at Gentex. Because, right? I mean, all of China, Japan, all that stuff is still doing COVID stuff. Like, so they're not putting. Other countries aren't putting the risk out there like we are. So I mean, we're a very money-driven country, and just as much as they are. But like they're
way more than
right. I mean, but they're still being very smart about it. Let's say, and so right. So this tenant starts telling the judge all this stuff, right? And then he looks at her and goes, is April paid? And she goes, no, and tells her little excuses about whatever. It'll be paid Friday, stuff like that. And so judge goes, all right. He goes, I don't want to walk out of here with a contingency, basically, right? So we're going to do trial or whatever. And he goes, and he looks at her and he's like, look, if you lose, this is going to be an eviction on your record. Like, just know this, right? Like, and so she, my lawyer is like, could you give us 5 minutes? Okay. And he goes, yep, that's fine, right? Like, we have a recess real quick. And so they start talking. And this is the part that I'm really adamant about for people. So my tenant brings a friend that is a witness, okay? And this girl stands up. Yeah.
Can I interrupt?
Oh, go ahead.
Is the friend a lawyer?
No.
Does the friend have any law background?
according to them, you know, they have so they've threatened us with lawyers the entire time. Oh, I'm gonna go talk to my uncle's a lawyer, but my attorney every time. Who's your uncle? I'll talk to him. Like, well, he'll talk you straight, right? Like, and every time, right? Like, it's funny because everybody's like, oh, I got a lawyer, I got a lawyer, I got a lawyer, and it's like, cool. Like, we're not afraid. Like, you know, what we've done, what we've submitted, everything is true to us. Whether now we go to the judge and he tells us if it's true or not. So
in other words, she has a paper degree that she wrote. I am lawyer.
Yeah, well, no, you know, she's probably been to, and here's the thing, the way she acted, she's probably been to court so much. Now she is officially a lawyer because, like, I guarantee the
so she goes to court
or something like that.
Right? So she like watches the People's Court, and she likes Judge Millian.
Yes, all those things.
And Judge Judy.
She's just been there enough, like, you know, because of the amount of trouble she gets in. And so this, you know, one of the things my lawyer says, he goes, you know, all right, so we put $195, which I think is Grand Rapids court cost on the paperwork or whatever, because, you know, my lawyer works different areas. And he goes, Judge, I know you guys only allow us to charge $158, so, you know, we'll get that fixed or whatever. And this girl, that's like all she heard was we miswrote the problem is this was 2 court dates ago, right?
Yep.
The girl didn't show up, so we just got our judgment for the amount of money that we asked, right? He just said, hey, this is what it is, cool. And that's all this girl, oh, they already admitted to lying about, you know, they charge you 40 extra bucks and this and that, and you go to court, go to trial. And it's just like, and my judge, or my attorney, I was 50-50 on this guy, like, beforehand, because he's like, hey, let's not do this. And I was like, this is principle. So in you know, it's, again, we're fighting for, I knew at the end of it, I wasn't going to get late fees. I wasn't going to get stuff. And so I was going to end up with $200. I'm paying $500 for a lawyer. Okay. So now it's like,
it was just the principle.
I got to get you to admit this, like, right? Like, you got to understand that you can't just keep withholding rent.
Right.
And so, like, we're going to get to this point. And so my attorney looks at the friend and says, could you just shut the fuck up? Like, just stop. Like, you're giving her horrible advice. You're doing, like, just stop. And the tenant's like, I don't like the way you're talking to my friend. You got to go to trial, blah, blah, blah. You're going to, you know, I was like, I'm sitting back just listening to this, right? And I look at her and I was just like, look, here's what it is. You do what you want. I don't really care. I'm here to represent what I'm supposed to. I was like, right now, the way you see it and the way I see it, you might be whatever, but I look at this as 50-50. Now, you just told me 2 minutes ago that you're saving to buy a house and you're going to be out in September. Now, if you get an eviction on your record, you will not qualify for FHA for at least 5 to 7 years. And she goes, yeah, I'm actually in the lending field for a bank and stuff like that. And so I was like, look, is $200 worth like this entire risk? Like, if you win, great. If you lose, even if you get a dime, even if he just says, hey, you have to pay this amount, that is an eviction. I don't care if you win the money that you said, but he hits you for 1 late fee. I don't care if he hits you, like, think about it. If you hit any part of this, and he says, hey, you know what, you guys got to split this and you get court costs. You have to completely win this entire case to not have this on your record. And she looks and she goes, is it going to be on my record that it shows? And my attorney goes, if you take the plea, I will guarantee that this isn't on your record. This is what it is. And you'll pay the $200. And she goes, fine, let's pay the $200. Judge comes in and finally we convince her. And so she goes, hey, I'd like to talk to you. And I was like, okay, it's completely fine with me. I talk to everybody, right? And so we go, and I say, without your friend. And my attorney comes in real quick, shows us where the room is, and he excuses himself. And so her and I talk, and I was like, look, you know, I reiterated everything. I said, hey, you know, you made a really good decision. It sucks to sometimes eat your pride, but
yep,
it's a very good decision, especially if you want to buy a house. I was like, and if you think about it, I guarantee that if you come to me in the next couple months, whatever it is, when you're ready to buy a house and say, hey, I'd like to get out of my lease, we have a 2-month, you know, lease price to get out. I was like, if you negotiate with us half price to get out, you're going to save, let's say it's $1,000. You're going to save $1,000 because we're going to say, yeah, you're buying a house. Congratulations. Awesome. We won't charge you $2,000. We'll charge you $1,000. Just like I talked with, TJ and all that. And so I was like, look, at that point, you're going to make $1,000 and that $200 is going to be nothing. So like, it's perfect. And, and she's like, and she keeps going. She goes, everybody in your office, they're a bitch. And they're so mean and so rude. And she goes, I'll talk to you anytime. And I was like, you actually have. And I described the first situation. I was like, you called me on a Friday. It was 3:15. We closed at 3 o'clock. You got really upset that nobody told you that we closed at 3 o'clock on Fridays, but we worked through it. You were very cordial, and I appreciated that. And I was like, then you called me again not too long back, and I told you that there was a date for the switch or whatever, and you got loud and you did whatever. And I said, look, and I told you I don't have to do anything. I ain't got to do nothing. And you asked me who the fuck I was, and I said, I'm Nick Watkins. Who are you? And she hangs up, and I said, and you hung up on me. And she goes, yeah, sometimes I'm a little hard to get along with. And I was like, that's completely fine, but you don't need to treat us this way. Like, I get your frustrations. It's not like we don't understand. I was like, look, we do the best in our ability. And I started laying out all the things that we did when she wanted them. And I was like, look, I personally take pride in what I do. Within 48 hours, I'm going to take action to everything. Like, you're going to have some type of a communication.
Yeah.
Whether it happens within 48 hours, I was like, if I call my plumber and they're 3 days out, there's nothing I can do about that. Like, but you're within 48 hours, you're going to know that date and that time of when they are scheduled to be there. Just as much as every single time I got an email that said, hey, these appliances moved. I didn't just wait till day before. I literally sent it to you and was like, hey, they've moved out. Hey, they moved out. So that way you can plan other things. But yeah, and so you have to realize, and I posted it on Facebook, I was like, you have to realize that the friends you're around, look at their life and see, is that where you want to be in life? Like, I'm assuming, and it's always a good thing to assume, but is this friend living the dream life? Is this friend, got everything in life that you want? Okay, sure, they got there and they have knowledge in that game, but if they're just there to, we got him talking about we got him for $40, and it's like, and I told her, I was like, look, that $40 is going to guarantee to come off your final bill if we win. Like, we've already admitted that we overcharged. Like,
you bring up a good point. When you look at your friends, is that something you want to emulate? Is that something you want to do? So when Mike and I reconnected, we've talked about that before on the episodes. We sat down and I looked at his bills and kind of, gave him some advice. I don't think Mike would sit there and say, yeah, David had it all together and he knew exactly what he was doing and I want to emulate it. Am I wrong? No, I didn't have it all together. I wasn't somebody to sit there and, I'm going to emulate that.
Right.
But I had knowledge that I could share, and I shared it with him. And I said, hey, do what you want. This is what I see. Mm-hmm. And those are the type of people that are steering you in the right direction, not the ones that are telling you, you have to go do this, you have to go do that, go to court, go to court, go to court.
Well, I used to work for Manpower at Kellogg's, and there was a guy who he's like, oh, you got to get into penny stocks. That penny stocks is where it's at, penny stocks. And like, he would talk it up, and I'm like, man, it does sound pretty good. Like, right, I can put $100 and I have 100,000 stocks, something, I don't know the number, 10,000 stocks. And if it goes a penny, I've made, and I'm broke at this time, right? Yeah. And it's funny because I talked to somebody else and they start laughing. I was like, you guys ever thought about penny stocks? And they go, oh man, have you been talking to Jim again? And they go, he's declared bankruptcy twice, right? And I was like, some bitch. Like, so instantly, like his reputation just didn't fit. So like, why would I take advice from people that can't do? Like, why would I take advice? And it was like, with this tenant, I know I have to be for the owner. And okay, so the reason, and that's the other thing I need to explain to people. Okay, so my lawyer said, hey, if we don't go to trial, I will not charge you the $500 to prepare for this trial. I will not do whatever. So my owner, he's going to get the $200 and he's going to pay the $158 in court costs. So he's really only making $50. He's like, but he still has to pay. He still has to pay the lawyer before that for all the up and coming. So he's actually losing money. Okay. Yeah. But it's better than losing $500 for
on top of everything else.
Yeah, and if he would have lost the case, so he could have lost. So to walk away really only being down $200 after everything's paid, after whatever, and now we have a tenant that's in place. Like, to me, that's a win, right? She understands, and I've made it very clear. Like, you can't just withhold whatever you feel like. Right. I was like, you have to, and I explained it to her because I'm a nice guy and always will. Look, if you feel this isn't fair, if you feel whatever, okay, you need to escrow it and send in your payment that shows escrowed, like into a different account. That's fine, right? Or pay it, sue. Then you have to sue back, right? Like for wrongful. Like, you have to show that you've actually tried. You have to make the attempts. You have to do all this. You can't just take it upon yourself to do things. And so to me, right, like, it's a win. It's a very much win. Like, we got what we wanted. It just took months to get there, right? I mean, And it was literally down to we're in court sitting in front of the judge, and he's like, all right, we're ready to go to trial. And then we're like, look, this is one last chance. Like, no more, like, because once trial starts, you don't get anything. And again, if you lose your whole life of what you see in your future for the next 5 years, you're screwed. Because now think about it as well. And I don't mean to be that guy, but me as the guy who's been going through, you've been giving me so much shit for 6 months.
Yep.
There's zero chances I'm renewing this fucking lease.
Yep.
Zero. Like, I don't care how much you apologize, how sorry you are. Like, you made me go through all this. And technically now, sure, you've cost my owner, and I am the owner, let's say. You've cost $200. Like, we'll never get that back, right? Like, I can't recoup that. I can't do anything. And you've wasted this much amount of my time. Mm-hmm. So and say me being me, because of how strong I felt in this situation, I talked to the owner and I was like, I ain't charging you a dime. I would love to go fight this, right? Like, I would absolutely love to see this happen, right? But the passion side of me is literally, I don't want to see people ruin their life over something so stupid. And I never will. I will always, like, yes, my advice isn't the greatest. And sure, if she didn't take it and she won, good for her, right? I take it and just go, okay, we learned. Like, what did we learn from this? Hey, this, and if we do win, then I learned, I know what the hell I'm doing. Right? So, yeah, that was my morning. And then the afternoon, right? Just so many other things. I could talk real estate all day, all these types of things that are happening. So
you look at some of this stuff, and I think friends is a great thing to hit on for a minute here. So you are who you associate with, right?
What is it? The 5 or the 10 friends with 5 friends that you're around, you're the average income or the average of them, right? So if you're a homeless person and your 5 people that you talk to on a constant are homeless, guess what? Chances are you're homeless as well, right?
Like, well, and if you look at the 5 people I'm around the most, it's, not family wise, it's you,
yep,
Mike, probably Walling,
yep,
Jim, and his wife.
So, right, and like when you look at that, like, I do okay, right, money wise.
Yep. I probably am the lowest end. You're probably right. I'm probably right in the middle.
Honestly, like, I
mean, because
Walling, it doesn't,
Walling makes less than me.
Yep. Walling is still at home.
Oh, I cannot.
Not yet, but so
he makes less than me. Wendy makes less than me, but you, Mike, and Jim probably make more than me.
In theory.
Yeah.
I mean, but I guess even on the financial aspect, so like it is usually a financial thing, but now, like, look at it. Okay, so I have a house.
Mm-hmm.
You have a house?
Yeah.
Jim and his wife have a house.
I have a house.
Now Mike doesn't, or didn't up until we're gonna doesn't have a house. Okay, so we have 4 out of 5 people that have a house, and do you have a house?
I have 2.
Right. I mean, so right, like, well, granted, I have
you
more,
have many.
So and that's exactly
again,
so
yeah.
I have many houses. You have more than one. So
yep.
like technically, when you average it, he has 1.
Jim has 1.
Like, so when you average it out, yeah, okay, you're right in the middle. Like, when you think about that, yep, in theory. So, I got a baseball episode. Like, we all have baseball. So, like,
yeah,
you hang around with those. Okay, if you smoke weed, your 5 closest friends are probably smoking weed.
Probably.
Like, okay, if
you drink beer, your friends probably drink beer.
Right, like your closest friends. I mean, right, like, it's nothing against people that don't. I still hang out with them. I'll buy your damn mocktails. I don't like.
Yeah, I don't care.
I want to, that's who I am. But like, I know the people that I constantly talk to, right? Like, Walt, F you money, right?
Yeah,
like,
oh, yeah.
I mean, we're talking, and when I look at like, I'm really like Ronnie, Travis, like, right, when I look at it, like, dude, this is an outlier here, but like, yeah, I probably am in the middle of all of
right.
like all of my people, is and I didn't, it's funny because like I remember back then, like when my high school, whatever, like, sure, my friends were hustling and grinding, like a few of us, the other ones were like, hey, I just like hanging out with you guys. And then my friends kind of changed, and like, it's not that I don't choose to change my friends. My thoughts change and how I want to hold myself. Like, again, real estate, like, if I didn't have Walt, I wouldn't have shit in life. Like, we can all be honest about this. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, my line, again, we talked about it. My line piece of paper lease would have sank me a million times over. And I'm too stupid to ever learn because nobody would have ever handed me that paperwork, right? Like, you know, I probably would have hit you up and be like, David, can you do some research on the computer? Because you know I'm stuck at it. And you'd be like, hey man, here's a lease I found. Maybe you should try this. And
Yeah.
I'd learn that lease because, you know, even though you don't own real estate, you'd be like, yeah, here, I'll help you. And like, I'd figure it out along the way. I just wouldn't be where I am type thing. So I really, honestly, I'm probably the middle of my friends where, you know, I go golfing with Walt a couple times a year, let's say. And it's funny because his friends show up, right? And you got the retired guy, you got Walt who's retired, you got like, I mean, net worth of these guys,
Oh, yeah.
just, it's fantastic.
This is like
absolutely-
when I go with Steve.
yeah,
Yeah, oh yeah.
but on a very big scale though, like, I mean,
Yeah, oh yeah.
we're talking double digit
Oh, yeah.
millions of dollars of guys that are, I'm sitting here just going, and they're like, Nick, what do you do? Oh, Nick, you're a Walt's protege. And I'm like, I drink beer, boys. Like, that's what I do. And they're like, man, I like you, you know? And so, but they're, you know, that group, that the people, and I found it a lot. So, I used to hang out with my sister quite a bit and my brother-in-law and all that. And like, they
Yeah.
had two combined incomes. And I'd hang out with like other couples, and I don't mean this in any disrespect to people, but we'd go out to eat, and then we'd go out and play pool. We'd go do whatever, and then like next week would come by, and we're like, hey, let's go hang out. Oh, hey, we don't have money to do this 2 weeks in a row, and then like, you know, that's how they start to fade because you're going out with the people that can do these things. Hey, the people that do want to go on trips, the people that do want to do these things,
Yep.
because you want to constantly just keep moving, and so. Because that's who it's nothing against, I mean, my sister and I have way different things now, but like back then, right? It was like, you know, and so you kind of outgrow your friends when you're in that financial thing, right? Just like if you're the guy who's retiring early and you go to the bar and you're the guy who knows, hey, my budget's 2 beers, and your friends are all drinking a crap ton, and sure, they'll buy you some here and there. Eventually, you know, they're going to be like, oh, I'm either tired of buying you beer, and that's okay because you're growing financially. Or, you know, you're comfortable where you are, but like you're going to retire at 50 and they're going to continue to work. At some point, you're going to stop and you're going to be like, all right, either got to get back to work, which I find happens a lot, or you're just going to make different friends, right? Like it naturally kind of happens, right? You don't go searching for them. It naturally happens. You get somebody else who's on the same wavelength, the same page as you, and you go do it. Like I know for a fact that we're going to be older and you're going to be like, I mean, you're going to retire before me.
Yep.
I mean, well, I'll be retired, but when you turn 60 something, when you actually are like, hey, I'm just done with my job.
Yep.
Hey, you want to go here? Yeah, let's go. Like, right. Like I'm going to be retired by then. Right. So it's not going to be too far behind because I'm 32. So I got, 15, 16 years. Nope, not even. Yeah. 15 years till my kid's 20 and, she'll be however old.
I'm 43. I'd like to retire in the next 12 or 13.
Right. So by that time, right, like I'll be ready to go. You'll be ready to go. So it's like, it's kind of working out in that aspect of like, we're going to be able to do things constantly. I mean, you
even like now.
Yeah.
I mean, Dawn and I didn't get to go on our trip last year. And we had planned some different things and they all kind of fell through. And, for me, when I'm looking at trips and stuff, I would love to go somewhere with just my wife, but at the same time, I love my friends too.
Well, and that and like you and your wife are like me and my wife. We are completely opposites.
Yeah.
No disrespect to them, but like my version of fun is sitting in the shade and drinking beer, and their version of fun is, oh, I want to go on this snorkeling trip to the bottom of the ocean. And I'm like, I don't need that.
But in all honesty, I'm probably more on their wavelength than I am yours.
Yeah.
I want to go on the snorkeling trip to the bottom of the ocean.
But like, so,
But Dawn's perfectly happy also to just sit there and do like when we went to Hawaii, I wanted everything planned out. And she's like,
I'm a planner.
She goes, I don't want to plan anything. Why do we have to plan it? I'm like, no, I want to know what we're doing on every specific day. She goes, but it could change. Well, I don't care.
And that was like when we went to Mexico, right? I was like, and Courtney's like, why are you so excited? And I was like, we don't have to talk about food. And she goes, what do you mean? And I was like, literally, I know everywhere I go, I get fucking Mexican food. Like,
you just get food.
We already have dinner planned, breakfast planned, lunch planned.
Yeah.
It's guaranteed. And she's like, okay, that like food doesn't make me happy. Like if I could just eat a tortilla I had I was like, give me some scrambled eggs, give me a tortilla, hot sauce, here we go. And like, I woke up just like I had mimosas, and I was in the greatest mood of my life. And just, she's like, wow, but then she's like, hey, do you want to go check this shop out? Yeah, let's go check the shop out. Oh, I'm kind of hungry now. Like, there's a taco stand. See ya. And she's like, again, it's not saying no. Like, if she wasn't hungry, she didn't eat. If she was hungry, she's like, oh, I kind of want some guacamole, like whatever it was. And I was just like, okay, this works. So, and we look at literally, even if I looked at my wife's, 5 friends, right? I don't count my income as her income, let's say. She's really right in the middle.
Yeah.
I mean, I bless her a little bit by letting her work part-time. I don't know however you want to say that the correct way. She has the opportunity to work part-time, and she takes that opportunity. She worked hard. She's got
doesn't have to work full-time.
Correct. So she doesn't, right? But like, her income of her part-time or whatever is the same as what her friends are. I mean, all of her friends are in the medical field of some way. Like, if you look at it, they're all in the medical field. I am not lying about that. One of them is not, actually. One of them is not. All the rest of them are, they've gotten their nursing degree, they're physicians now. One of them's in pharmacy or whatever, right? But that's still medical. Like, they're in that field. And because those are the things that you guys enjoy, right? Like, if you're the girl or the guy that enjoys sports, chances are you're not hanging out with the person that doesn't love sports, right? Like, hey, what do you guys want to do in Super Bowl? Well, I'm gonna watch fucking Super Bowl. Oh, I don't care about sports. All right, cool. Like, we're hanging out with this because we're watching the Super Bowl, right?
Well, that's a good point, because we troop sporting bets.
Yeah.
And when I'm at a baseball game, in costume,
it's hard not to watch the game.
It's not even that, because you can't watch the game. I mean, you're just busy with pictures and stuff. But literally, other people will, they always want us on the field to do stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And Mike and I kind of avoid going on the field because we can't see anything, and walking downstairs doesn't sound like fun. So, we'll go to take a break or something, and they'll be like, well, I don't know when I'm supposed to go. They said like middle of the third, but I don't understand what middle of the third means. And they all look to me and they're like, okay, I don't get sports. Please explain this. And it's like, oh my, how hard is this? Yes. There's a top of the third and there's a bottom of the third. And when neither team's doing anything, that's the middle.
Yes, they just changed.
We skipped over this. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to go grab Mike's and my next beer, and he is going to tell you about his awesome pizza from Mitten tonight.
Yeah. All right. So
I tried something unique.
Very unique.
You're not going to surprise me, but I'm very excited.
Chicken and waffles pizza.
Chicken and waffles pizza is fantastic, isn't it?
It's great.
Yes.
With some hot sauce added.
Oh, so just so everybody knows, the Mitten Brewing, okay, they're known for their pizzas. We talked about them on one of our episodes. How they donate so much pizza back to the community. Like, they feed so many people. But right, like, we're talking about it, chicken and waffles. They have I don't even know what they call it. Like, but they have a chili dog pizza, right? So it's got chili, hot dogs, shredded pickles. They have a Thai curry, right? So it's got chicken and peanuts and Thai. Thai sauce.
John had Field of Greens tonight.
Field of Greens, right? So they have or vegetarian options, and it might be vegan as well. I'm not sure, but
that cheese.
It would be vegan. Yeah, that cheese.
It does have cheese. Okay, so
she could have had it vegan, but it was not.
And honestly, so for the people that are like, I don't really want to try something new, they have a meat pizza, right? And their meat pizza is fantastic.
Yeah, I got that.
Yeah, right? Like, David's a plain boring person, so
I am very boring.
But they have flights. You can get like four little pieces that are, I don't know, two bite pieces for you and me, and then I don't know what they would be in normal people size, because I don't eat normal people.
Right.
But and you could share it for everybody, and what you get four different pizzas.
Yep.
And it just works out really well.
Same as a beer flight, but it's a pizza flight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's fantastic. So you had chicken and waffles. You had peanuts and Cracker Jacks and the variant.
He had a different one as well.
What else did you have?
I had a ghost.
Oh, the ghost is fantastic. Now, what'd you think of it?
That was good.
Okay.
Just the right amount of sourness, not too sour, not too.
Banana one?
Yes.
That is?
Mm-hmm.
Here, hang on.
Let's say
Have you had the banana
I
one?
have not.
Oh, it is phenomenal.
I'm gonna end up.
I'm between that and the raspberry on what's better.
So one of my really good friends, which is my daughter, did gymnastics, and we ended up meeting this guy. And I, again, I'm outgoing, but like I don't want to see you once a week type thing. And so we end up talking to these people, and he ends up being one of the head brewers at the Mitten. So Jeff, big shout out. I pretty pissed that you haven't given me any of this. So
Let me know what you think of that. Mind you, while you're savoring that, I gotta say, softball has given me two of my best friends.
Yeah.
It's well, I guess technically three, because I really got you out of softball.
yeah, technically.
Yeah.
I say.
And then Marv and Chris.
Yeah.
So I mean, I've been very blessed, and honestly, a lot of the girls I coached, once they age out,
They stay around.
they do, and there's honestly some of my best friends, like Jessica. When I'm having a really shitty day, I know I can text Jessica and she'll put me in a better mood.
Yeah. I mean, and that's like, we're always there for the kids, right? And it takes years for them to be there for us, because we'll just go back to memories, right? And
Yeah.
we're okay with that. Like,
Well, Jenny's a great example. I mean, she hated me for all those years.
say,
And now she sends me a text message and she's like, hey, can you throw me some soft toss and let's go get some lunch? And it's like, what the hell happened here?
oh man, boys, you're gonna love this.
What'd you think of the banana?
The banana cream was fantastic.
I think it's really got good banana flavor.
It-
It's a really good banana.
Yeah, I say
flavor.
if it's not banana like banana Laffy Taffy, but it's banana like banana cream pie.
Yeah, it's not the banana bread beer,
Exactly.
formerly of Wells, now of Eagle Brewing.
Let's say. So Mike, we want to get into a little bit of what you're doing, because I wanna touch base again. I like Facebook. I'm usually on it quite a bit.
I'm hardly ever on it anymore.
A friend of mine, she started a business doing consulting for something, teaching people how to get ahead. And she just posted out like she made $200 in I don't know how many hours doing DoorDash. And so I know you've been doing Grubhub,
I've been doing DoorDash.
DoorDash as well. So how's that been going?
Been going really well. I mean, the week are different. Like usually the weeks I have my kids, I can't. But when I have them on the weekends, I can't
Sure.
dash quite as much. But like the interesting thing about them is they have like these incentive weekends usually, and that like this past weekend, I had an incentive where between like Friday and Sunday at midnight, I did 25 dashes. I earned an extra $100.
It's huge.
And yeah, and I sat there and I did like 10 on Friday, 10 Friday night after, my kids dropped off. I did 10, Saturday. And then it was like, I hung out with my sisters for a while on Saturday. And then it's like when they left, I'm like, I'm going to go do my last 5 so I don't have to try to do them Easter morning or whatever.
Yeah. Now, and so last we knew, you were investing in dividend stocks.
Yes,
Are you still doing that?
yes.
Okay. so
And what are you using to invest with? Because I know I set you up with a couple different platforms.
I'm using, it's pretty much, I shift the week. Some weeks I go and I put the money into Webull just to have extra money in just the regular stock market. Then usually the next week I'll do public, the next week I'll do stash.
Okay.
Spreading yourself out.
Yeah. And,
Yep.
and now with the 3, are you picking your own stocks?
Sometimes I just do some of the like group stocks I do.
Sure. And then, okay, so now is one outperforming the other? Do you know any of that information?
Usually I think public is doing the best right now in general.
Okay. So,
And then sometimes I'll throw an extra little bit into like acorns and stuff like that.
sure. So you're diversifying, you're having fun with it, and you're still investing that extra money.
I can
Okay.
give you a great return on investment calculator.
So now you can be as generic as you'd like. Just in DoorDash, what is your net worth gone up?
I mean, it just probably a couple thousand just in
Couple
the
thousand.
months I've done
A
it.
couple months, like this is huge money, right? Like,
Yep.
and
I mean, if you
Have
average
you- have
that
you
over a
seen-
year,
right. Have you seen? Do you regret starting it? Do you regret not doing something else in your life?
I don't regret it. It was one of those things that after listening, I'm like, I have this extra time on my hands. If I'm, I'm usually watching TV or taking a nap or something like that. Why not make that time work for me?
So now, does growing your income excite you?
It always excites me. Anything that might allow me to retire. I mean, like, once, like for me, and I mean, I'm not counting down the days for when I'm no longer paying child support, but I mean, when I'm no longer paying child support, I'm going to be able to put,
A lot of money away.
almost $1,000 extra a month.
Which is huge. I mean,
Yeah.
No, like those are things that like people need to hear is like the time that you're spending, you weren't doing anything productive with it. So it's not like you were trying to develop and design a new thing, a video game, a business, and anything. You literally just looked at yourself and said, hey, I can grow myself to guarantee a better future.
Yeah.
And that's huge. Like
If I wasn't-
you're not David and I, no disrespect, but like you're not starting a podcast, you're not doing anything. You're just an average guy that went out and said, hey, look,
Mhm.
I'm gonna have a better future. And that's huge.
Yep. I wanted some money. I mean, a couple of times I've used it, like, I've been like, oh, hey, Max has a camp out coming up for Boy Scout. Like this past check, it's like I wanted to pay all of his summer camp off. I'm like, I'll go between what I had set aside for just my, bi-weekly paycheck. And I'm like, oh, I'll throw this extra, 100 that I'm going to make,
Yeah.
for doing these 25, deliveries
So
and pay off Max's summer camp.
like that's huge. Like so everybody that's listening, everybody that's following on YouTube, right? Like now just paid off an entire bill that he had. Like he doesn't okay, so yes, does he want to invest? Sure, right? Like the end goal is retire. But like he had extra money just sitting aside and just said, I don't have to invest this because you don't have to do it. This is just extra money that you can choose where it goes. And if you have a bill that comes up, if you have just like you had an activity that you wanted to do that literally that's where it went to. Like nobody if you're not using it, invest it until you get to that point. Like my daughter's thing, we talk about Betterment all the time, right? You and I both love Betterment. If we don't use, I'm the first to be honest. If I'm getting foreclosed on one of my properties,
Yeah, you're pulling Betterment.
Betterment's gone. See, you gotta go. Like
Yep.
that's liquid cash. Daddy needs to survive. And so like I did the same thing. Like my daughter, so she had gymnastics all day today because she's on spring break. It was $40 for her to go to gymnastics from 7 a.m. till 6 p.m.
Wow.
Right? Like
That's a good deal.
That's a no-brainer.
right, like, and she loves doing it. I only did it one day this week. I'm not doing it every day because like I don't want her to get used.
Right.
I don't want her to think that that's going to be a common thing, right? So like it has to be a treat type thing. But they offered us back 2 years ago. My daughter was 3 years old. She'd been in gymnastics for I don't know, let's say 6 months to a year, and all of a sudden I get an email. Hey, you can get a lifetime membership to this, and it'll cost you $1,600. Normally $2,500, right?
That's a good deal, but I don't know if it's still worth $1,600.
Yeah, but now here's the thing. Okay, so I'm paying when you first start, it's $60 a week for one class.
Oh wow.
Okay, so then we did a second class, and you get half off. So I'm at $90.
$90.
Now the longer her class goes, and the more she gets older. So now her classes are 50 minutes, let's say, and they're up to $75, and then the second one is half off or whatever, and they get they get up to like $105.
Annualize that over a couple of years, and you
So,
pretty much paid for
2
it.
years. It was less than 2 years. I think it was 18 months, and I was completely paid off. COVID hit, and we took almost a year off or whatever it was, and so I lost that. But I know for like she's back into it. Like they're all wearing masks, they're doing whatever. My wife's happy, but so I probably got, I don't know, 6-8 months, 10, let's say a year out of it. I have 1 year until this thing is completely paid off. I don't walk it. I don't have to pay a bill. I don't have to do anything. It's completely paid off. So she can do 2 classes a week for free. She can pick any 2 classes she wants, and she can do them. So, now we started her with 1. So sure, I'm only making right now $80 on my return. I don't care. I know for a fact that my daughter's going to be into it because she absolutely loves it. And we waited until we didn't just go in and buy it right away. Like we waited until she really just showed interest. She wanted to go every single week for for 6 months, and she just kept wanting to go. And as I said, we talked about Jeff. Like we met Maggie. I'm hoping that's okay to say his daughter's name. And they were they're best friends, right? Like they were. Oh, I can't wait to see her. And it was, they didn't go to the same school. They were completely different school districts, and that's what it is. Like you build that relationship. I know bowling was huge to me. I didn't find it until I was probably 13 in life or whatever it is. So like again, we talk about circle of friends, like that's who you surround yourself with. So
Well, again, even looking at Caitlin, I mean, her friends aren't necessarily, they're not the kids she went to school with.
Mhm.
Okay. And they're not necessarily the kids she played ball with.
Mhm.
Her friends now, like she's having a birthday party on Saturday. She's not.
I didn't get invited.
You did not. I did not either.
Oh,
So
did you get invited?
Yes.
Wow. So she didn't invite
No, I didn't.
anybody she played with.
Sure.
But I know as well as anybody, like when she got cut from the freshman team because her dad coached at a different school, not because she wasn't good enough, but because her dad coached at a different school. Jessica was at my house before I was.
Sure.
All she did was hear, hey, Caitlin got cut, and she beelined her ass over to my house.
Yep.
You don't necessarily have to go to school with them. You're looking for that shared experience. And speaking of shared experience, we're going to go to this right now. So I get a message today from a former teammate of mine. Now, this teammate, mind you, did really well for himself over the years.
I have to stop you. I'm
Go
so
ahead.
sorry.
Go ahead.
So we're talking about Jeff. We're talking about his daughter.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
No, you didn't.
Okay.
No, I'm interrupting you now. So on my phone, I just pulled it up. You guys can read this. So it's my buddy Jeff's wife, and she texted me. She goes, "Which pedicure place did you take Emerson to?" So just to let everybody know, I'm a big bearded man. But I have a 5-year-old daughter, and we do daddy-daughter days. We do whatever. So
You got a pink bow in your hair, I think. Yep.
I do, just so everybody knows. So I'm gonna turn around just so that the whole world can see it. So I am bald up top, but yes, I have a ponytail. I have everything. Right? My daughter has never had a haircut.
By the way, we both hate Mike because I am also going bald, but Mike has full hair over
You
there.
don't have to sit here and brag about it, okay? But my daughter has hair that goes past her butt. She's never had her haircut. I absolutely think her hair is great. And I'm like, she's like, oh, I don't want long hair. These kids, I'm growing it to show her, look, your look doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Everything, if you're embarrassed of me, I will cut it. I will do whatever. But the fact is here's what we are. Like, I will support my kid through and through. And I don't care what I look like. My wife's like, hey, this and that. But, I grow this, right? Because again, hair doesn't make you the person you are, right? Like, you will be respectful, you will be trustworthy, you will be a fantastic person, right? Like, my job as a parent is to grow and develop. But I take my daughter out to daddy-daughter day. The neighbor is, so it's really hard. I'm struggling as a father right now because I only have one kid.
Yep.
And I'll end up talking to you eventually because you had one kid.
Yep.
But it's so I live next to a couple that has 4 daughters.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so their daughters are outside playing. Easter Sunday, she got to go over there. They put their mask on and they all played. And then all of a sudden Monday comes around. Hey, can I come over? Oh, my mom said no. Or, my parents said no. I don't know which one of them it was. I don't care. And my daughter, she pouts and a little bit, and she goes inside and plays, and that was fine. And so I was like, man, I feel so bad because, like, technically I feel bad as a father because I didn't produce a second one.
Right.
And so I was like, forget it. Like, daddy-daughter night, let's go. So we go to Chuck E. Cheese. We go get ice cream. We're posting this stuff online. We're having a blast. My kid, again, her bedtime's 7:30, 8 o'clock, and here it is, 9 o'clock. We're getting home, and she's like, Dad, I'm so tired. I'm gonna pass out my clothes. She just passed out in her clothes. I think, for me, it makes me proud. And she woke up this morning, 7 o'clock this morning, and she gets up and said, Dad, it's gymnastics day. And I was like, my wife is very concerned that she was going to get sleep, and she's all excited. I was like, heck yeah, let's do this. Like, what do you want for breakfast? Like, I'm going to take you anywhere. You name it, we'll take you. And then I'll get you to gymnastics, right? And so she ate cereal at home, which is fine. But do I spoil my kid? Yes. But like, it's tough when you watch other people
Yeah.
That other people do the things that you can't control, if
Yeah.
that makes sense. Like I can't control not having another kid around. I can't control these types of things.
So before I read you this,
Yeah.
we got somebody that just joined.
Troncat?
No, the other one. Shout out to Vanessa. Hi, Vanessa.
Vanessa! Woo woo! Congratulations. We're going live right now on Podbean. See, I know you didn't want to go on Facebook Live, but I'm going to go live for you. Vanessa paid off a credit card. We're real excited. This is huge stuff. Dude, Mike's giving you clap. This is like, dude, this is what we do this for. 100%. I'm so excited for you. I absolutely love this. I'm very proud. I cannot wait for another 2 months to figure out where you are because she paid off no, she paid off an Amazon card, right?
It was Amazon.
And
yeah.
so she has Disney left,
She has Disney left.
the car, and the house. Like, I'm excited for 2 months from now to hear how much farther we've gotten on this Disney. Like, hey, and when she talks to us, she talks about details of, hey, I took all this money and I moved it over here. I did this. I'm doing this. Like, I'm very, very excited. Vanessa, you rock. Like, if I could say that, if I could build like a dream way to do a podcast with people with debt, like normally you're just not going to find this as a normal person that's going to actually do it. You're going to be like, hey, I struggled a little bit. Like she's literally just out there doing it. Like, all right, hey, and we've talked.
She took everything we said to the extreme.
Right, and like we listened to her podcast, listened to some things. She had a couple things that like could have helped her bump it up, but she didn't let us steer it away. She just kept going with it. Like this is huge to us.
So I get a message earlier today.
Message from an ex
Football teammate.
football teammate, so high school.
Yep. I get it. Levian, hope all's well. I caught a few episodes of your podcast with Nick Watkins.
That's
Shout
me. That's me.
I actually have a personal finance podcast myself.
Good.
Love the discussion of personal finance and financial freedom, and also saw you had David Sivak on as a guest, although I have not listened to that episode yet. Good stuff. So Mike might know the older brother.
Okay.
So this was from Ben Blake. His older brother's Andy, who was he would have been a sophomore when he graduated. Andy.
I think I've heard of him, yeah.
Ben Blake. So Ben, thanks for knowing my name. That's huge. So
Ben was probably the most successful teammate I had because he got a scholarship to go play football at Yale. So he was a smarty.
all right. So I'm not even mad.
Yeah, he graduated from Yale.
He did go to Yale. He took the scholarship.
He went and played football at Yale.
From Plainwell, Michigan.
Plainwell, Michigan.
Okay, so people, I don't know if we've talked about Plainwell enough about how small of a town this is. I mean, tractors are what we as normal people go to prom in limos. Plainwell, you ride your parents' John Deere.
I will say
or
that
international.
for the homecoming float every year, we did ride on the back of a tractor. Yes.
I'm not lying. To you,
Not one of those things you have, like a farm.
Yes, a full size
tractor.
tractor.
Yes.
Right, like the people I'm jealous of. Okay, so you have to tell everybody that I don't have the tractor I want because my wife won't let me have it. Well, it's like you only have, an eighth of an acre, and I'm like, yeah, but that tractor knocked that shit out. Like,
Well,
I'm a tractor guy.
Blake's one of the few people I can't just refer to as Blake because there was two of them. But again, I play football, so we all refer to each other by our last name. So
Sure.
when I get that message and it says Levy, and I can hear it in the back of my head, like he's saying it.
Yeah.
And so he shared his financial podcast with me. So I'm going to give a shout out to that right now. It's the POFU podcast. Nick, do you want to know what that stands for?
Personal Opinionated Financial University?
Position of fuck you.
Yes, I did want to know that. Blake, good for you.
So I'm really excited about that. I shared that link with you earlier. I'm going to give a listen to Ben later and see what he has to say. They've been doing this since the first of the year. No, actually, November, the 1st of November.
Good.
So I'm really excited. I told him if he ever wants to do a dual episode or anything, to let us know.
We love doing
They
dual
talk
episodes.
a ton of real estate, so he really thinks you'll enjoy it.
Probably not. I hate real estate. Like, Blake, don't talk to me about real estate. I don't know anything about it. Gosh, no, the more like, it's funny because the more I talk to people and the more I deal with common, like, I just talked to Walt today, and he
Okay.
like he honestly, he just gave me the attaboy. Like, kid, you really know how to handle people. He goes, look, if I was in this situation, I wouldn't talk to this person. I wouldn't offer them shit. I wouldn't do this. And he goes, you really just, you connect with them. And I'm like, look, I understand, right? Like, and so no, I would absolutely love, even if they wanted us to come on. I mean, right? Talk. Maybe they can give us ideas about what to do with that second property, right? Like
Right.
how to do something with it. So I'd absolutely love that episode. So now, so he tells you he has a financial podcast. What else does he share with you?
That was it.
Okay. So,
But I thought that was great because
you haven't talked to each other in.
I think the last time I talked to Ben was probably, I was working at Pac Mail because he actually walked into Pac Mail one day for something, and so that was probably 2000.
Sure. So we're 21 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, I've talked to his older brother more recently because I don't know, I just have. Andy was one of our captains, and thank you.
Of course.
Andy was one of our captains, and we actually had a loss in the family, I don't know, a few months ago. One of our offensive linemen lost a battle to COVID that literally none of us knew he was having.
So, and
So shout out to Jason Heenan and his family. He got sick on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
Basically, later that day he had posted something on Facebook, and everybody's like, is it serious? And he goes, well, I think I have COVID. And by Sunday he was dead.
that's crazy.
Healthy 45-year-old man.
I'm so sorry to the family to hear that. If you guys need anything from us, let us know. We'll do whatever we can.
I know they have GoFundMe, and I contributed to that. Dawn had actually said to me, she goes, you contributed to your GoFundMe? And I go, yep. She goes, was it for your teammates GoFundMe? And I said, yep. And she goes, all right.
One of the biggest things, and most people might have missed that, but I want you to hear, and we don't ever talk about our episodes ahead of time. We don't coach each other into speaking things, but right. So one of the things David just said was, yep, we lost one of the members of the family, right? So like when you're in these sports, when you're in these things, like you are family, right? Like we're not military. None of us were military.
Nope.
But military talks about family. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, you are your brotherhood, you are whatever. And so everything that we do, right? Like you are part of something bigger. And David's sitting here, yeah, hey, we lost family. Like, and that's the feeling that you get with everything that we do.
Well, just to speak of Jason for a minute, I go up to varsity my junior year.
Yeah.
And I was a starter on JV. I was an okay football player. I wasn't great. And going up to varsity was a huge step. I literally, a senior would pick out a junior to beat the shit out of every day.
Yeah.
Josh Farmer beat my ass every day in practice. Literally beat my ass.
Yeah.
And I remember Heenan always, he would find people, and I was one of those people he took under his wing.
Mm-hmm.
Captains help vote with the coaches on awards at the end of the year. And he goes, yeah, I voted for you for most improved. I'm like, Jason, I had a shitty year. I just, I was just kind of here.
Yeah.
And part of it was I would go to practice every day, and they would kick my ass in practice so badly that by the time I'd get in a game, I'd be like, oh my God, these guys are going to beat the shit out of me so much worse.
Yeah.
And I remember the first guy that hit me in a varsity football game, and it was probably a third of the impact I'd taken every day in practice for, 2 months.
Sure.
And I'm sitting there going, holy shit, nobody's going to kick my ass as much as my team.
Yeah.
And literally they did every day in practice. They took turns kicking our ass.
Yeah. And that's how you build your
That's
team
how
up.
you make, that's how you make them stronger. That's how you make them men.
I remember, I didn't play high school football because I just was done with it. And I remember when I was playing, younger football, like 78ers and stuff. I had a kid who was weaker, and so you do the head-to-head, right? And you're laying on your back. One guy gets the ball, and you get up and
run,
right? Like, so I'm up and I'm waiting for this kid to climb up, and I just walk up and tackle him. So, and I got my ass reamed. And they're like, do it again. Don't let up. So I'm sitting here ready, up, boom, I'm up, and I just lay the kid out. And I was like, and they're like, way to go. And I'm like, nope. Like, guaranteed the next one, he gets up a heck of a lot quicker though, right? And he's like, I'm gonna brace for this one because it's gonna hurt, right? And so we go again. He's up, wait, and honestly, you just build somebody to understand where you need to be, right? Like you're gonna force yourself to be there. If not, you're gonna force yourself out of it, and that's the biggest key.
Well, I think what's really lost with football is they really do make you men, okay, but they do that through just beating your ass.
Yeah.
I got my ass beat a lot in football, and it made me a better person for it. It didn't make me worse.
Yeah.
It absolutely made me better. If I hadn't been injured so much, my knees are terrible. I tore my MCL in my left knee 3 times. My patella in my right knee, the kneecap, it slides on me. So, that causes immense pain when that happens. It slides out of socket. So, you look at that and, people have injuries. That sucks. You can't do anything about it. You just kind of move on with your day.
Yep.
But again, those people I went to battle with, I don't talk to most of them often, but I went to battle with those guys. I bled with those guys.
Yep.
That means something. It's what I took to my girls.
Yep.
Steve all the time tells me, I was just bullshitting with you guys on the sidelines. I wasn't doing anything. I'm like, Steve, you don't understand the impact you were having. I don't know on everybody else, but on me.
Yeah.
I always felt important. When I was a junior, I was not a starter. I did not play a ton. Steve was the one that made me feel important when I was there. You know what I mean? And that was something I took to my teams because, Nick, better than anybody, you coach those teams. They were horrible. They couldn't hit water if they fell out the boat.
That's true.
They were awful ball players. But they tried so hard. And at the end of the day, they cared about each other. And all of them knew, even if they weren't a starter, that the coaching staff genuinely cared about who they were as a person and seeing them succeed.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was saying, we just did it the other day, right? I threw you a shirt and you had to reach in and grab it. And we made the old joke of, we've never lost a throw cross, right?
Yeah.
So, you might have done it with eggs, water balloons, anything like that. We did it with softballs, and you'd stand close together, and then one person would just keep taking a step back and a step back and a step back. And David and I have never lost. I've
never lost with you. I've never lost with Marv. I've never lost with Chris.
You teach throwing to the chest, which is great, right? Like you've never lost with Chris, which now you're coaching for a much better team, a team of.
Yeah, we don't do those competitions anymore because we could sit there all day with some of those kids.
Yeah, so it's pointless because they already know how to throw to the chest, right? Like.
Whereas where we came from,
yeah, I mean, we could be this close.
We would be done within 2 minutes. That was it. Everybody else has dropped the ball, and we're still sitting here doing this.
So I'm pretty sure.
Not dropping a ball.
And so it didn't matter. Like, but the kids that started out this close together ended up being Mike and David apart, which by the end of the season were to the wall over there and apart, right? So, all we cared about is improvement. Like, give it your best effort. So, we talked about the kid that literally couldn't hit. Like, we made her bunt, and she couldn't bunt, but like
if it got
the pitchers in the league that we pitched in would just have to throw a strike, and her bat just happened to be in the strike zone, right? Like. She would just hold her bat out before the pitch was even there, and they would just hit the bat, right? Like this is how it worked, right? Like
and literally, if it hit the ground, she was safe.
Yes, like they couldn't avoid the bat because they weren't pro pitchers.
Right.
She just held it out there, and it hit. She didn't move. We're like, just hold it here, and it would tink, and then see ya, right? Like we didn't care if it was that much in front of the home plate. Like we didn't need
It didn't matter where it landed, as long as it was fair.
We didn't need slap bunts. We didn't need anything out of you. And so David and I coach. The only kid we didn't care about striking out off of foul balls was this kid because we figured
She could bunt with 2 strikes. We didn't give a shit.
1 out of 3, right? This was going fair. I mean, and if it didn't, that was the risk we were willing to take
Yeah,
because
yeah.
that was the only thing we had. I mean,
I told somebody the other day about her first action in a game.
yeah.
I'm like, yeah, we were playing Calvin and I put her in right field. And he had asked me before the game, which mind you, I was not a fan of this guy. He goes, so how are they looking? I'm like, well, I see something different every day. And then they hit a ball to her in right field and she got to it and she picked it up and she flipped it underhand 20 feet over my center fielder's head.
Yep.
And Marvin and I looked at each other and went, well, what do you do?
Well, so,
You can't say anything because you can see the wheels turning in this kid's mind. She knows what to do with it. I'll get it to her. Whoops.
Yep. But the thing is right, she's 20 feet over the head, but she could have beat our center fielder to that ball again and thrown it again.
And she could have.
She could have ran.
She could have ran it to first
She could
base.
have ran it to home, first base, anything. She could, she would have had her at a double. Granted, because the team, the other team would have never. It's like rookie of the year where the kid loses his pitching strength
Yeah.
and they don't know. But it's like she could have ran to second base and tagged her out. Like we started just getting to the point. It's like, look, if you get the ball, just run it straight
Yeah,
there
yeah.
because you're gonna hold him at first. Like say, run to the ball, go.
She turned into an infielder because she was so bad at everything.
Yeah.
But
She could block things down.
she also played on the football team.
Yeah.
So I mean, literally, when she laid a tag on you, she laid a
Say,
tag on you.
you were
and
not
laid
getting
you
through.
out.
Say you were not getting through.
That started a couple fights.
So, and I know you had something else for us besides getting a
So
meeting.
Mikey, we were going to talk about.
We're gonna talk about Mikey, yeah. So Mikey's another guy we randomly bring up. Nobody's met him. He's
he was supposed to be here in studio tonight, but
some type of an excuse.
always an excuse with him. So he's always off on Tuesday. So he's going to come up Tuesday and hang out with everybody. And then he's like, yeah, they gave me Monday instead of Tuesday and I can't hang out.
Sure.
So he came up for a couple hours yesterday and hung out with just me and Caleb, which pissed my wife off. Didn't make Mike real happy because he didn't get to see him. And as usual with Mikey, which I told him, I said, hey, we're on Podbean. You can listen to us this way. I don't know if he'll ever do it. But if he does, he'll hear me, ragging on him a little bit here. So comes up yesterday. And of course, I kind of want to know what's going on. So he works at a company that works him to death. I won't say the name of the company.
I will.
I don't know if you know the specific name of the company.
Does the middle word start with a U and end with a U? Two
There-
S's in between?
No.
He doesn't work for Sure View Success anymore.
Oh, no, we don't.
We'll just move on.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Say. So
he's working somewhere around 65 to 80 hours a week, depending on the week.
so this company they stock Myers and they
Mhm.
stock all the chips. They stock
Yeah.
different brands of companies. So
Correct. And
they're a third party company for stocking for Meyer.
And as he puts it, which he's not wrong.
Yep.
If they had a full crew, it'd be a great job.
It'd be a great job.
But they never have a full crew.
Correct.
Because you hire somebody in that's young, let's say 22, and you say, I'm going to pay you $12 an hour.
Yep.
I'm just guessing at the salary. I don't know. And they come in there and they see that you got to work, 50, 60 hours a week, and it's very labor intensive, and this sucks. I could go over to McDonald's and make $11 an hour, and I don't have to work this hard. And he's like, yeah, well, if we could get anybody that wants to work. And I'm like, dude, you're never going to get anybody that wants to work at the shit prices your company pays, even if they're paying $14 an hour.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to work that hard.
Well, you look at Meyer themselves.
Yep.
And during COVID, we all know they were paying $18 an hour just to walk in the door.
Yep.
Because COVID, they needed people. I mean, even at $18 an hour, they couldn't keep the stores stocked.
And they didn't keep that. That ended quickly,
Okay.
within 6 months.
Sure.
So he tells me that, so they kind of screwed me over and I got to work and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, I sent you a job ad for Perigo. They're starting at $18 an hour. He goes, yeah, but you got to get in through an agency and they don't pay that much to start. And I'm like,
They
oh,
pay
that's
$18 an hour to
That's
start.
funny because my buddy Gary got into Paragon and they're paying him $18 an hour.
Yeah.
And he goes,
Temp.
yeah. He goes, well, yeah, but that's a long drive from Portage. I said, yeah. Gary drives from Byron Center. And he goes, well, that's a long drive. Yeah, it is.
But
He goes, but I make $18 an hour. I said, yeah, but here's the difference. If you work at Paragon, you have a set schedule.
Yep.
You work Monday through Friday, or maybe Tuesday through Sunday, or whatever you work.
Yep.
This is your schedule.
Yep.
If you want overtime, I'm sure it's there.
Yep.
But
And-
I'm sure you don't necessarily have to work it.
And when you get hired in, it's full benefits and $22 an hour.
And of course, with Mikey, I love the guy to death. But it's always a fucking excuse.
Always.
So he gave me 18 excuses on why he's still where he's at. All right, fine, whatever. And now he's got a girlfriend,
Of course.
which, you know, I will say, I say this because I like to give him shit, is considerably younger than he is. She's your age.
32. Wow.
Yeah, in that range.
Good job, Mikey.
And, you know, not to expose too much, but yeah, exactly. She had a really good job, and you know they downsized due to COVID. So she ended up getting a job at Meyer because you know she needed work.
Sure.
So she's making considerably less now.
Sure.
So they decided a couple months ago to move in together because you know they could split bills.
Dumbass.
Which you know, that's fine and all, but like she doesn't have a vehicle, so he you know takes her to work and stuff. Which you know, okay, fine, whatever.
Sure.
But let's go back to you work at a job you can't physically continue to do until retirement. I mean, you just can't physically do it.
And I know that, so one of my good friends
Yep.
used to work for or does still work for them.
Okay.
And he was married for a while to another friend of ours. And his wife is like, hey, you know, you gotta step up, like man up and support, right? So he took the promotion, like Mikey. I mean, dude, like they work you at this promotion, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, now I'm good. I just want to go back to my scheduled hours. Like, I don't really care. And then, you know, but looking up from that, like the promotions are not like it's such a they're a large company, but such small movements,
Yep.
right? Like, so you have to look at it as what kind of a company is it? Like, are they going to move you up? Like, sure, if you get passed up for, and my rule of thumb is, right, like if you get passed up for a job that you've been there and you're qualified for more than, I don't know, 2 to 3 times, it's time to find somebody that's going to give you what you deserve, right? Like, I'm not afraid to admit that. Like, if you're happy and comfortable where you are, do it to it. But anything else, like, dude, you got to find something to make you happy.
Well, you know, and that's one of the things like with my job, I don't want to advance.
I mean,
Perfectly happy doing what I do. I work from home.
well, it'd be great to have like 5 other people trained doing your job and then maybe you taking over them. But like
Right.
until they actually create more positions of you, say you're happy where you are.
Well, you know, and at the same time, I mean, I don't want to go into the office. And management at my company,
You have to go.
you're in the office.
Well, and you look at the amount of, well, like I look at your job and like you're a prime example of why moving up isn't always the best, right? Because you know your job, you're very good at your job, you get paid very well for your
Yeah.
job, but you also see that you've had 23 managers in such a small period of time
Yeah.
that like
I average over a manager a year.
you don't stay in that spot,
No.
right? Like, so your boss is always a grow or get out position, right? And so you can't just stick to your manager's job.
Well, and when you look at every manager I've had,
Yep.
I think all but one has been promoted to a different position. One had to take a demotion because they were just
Sure.
not good.
Not cutting it. Yep.
And, you know, I mean, that's great. You know, I want everybody to succeed and move on. But my biggest issue is I always have to train somebody on why I'm not stupid, which irritates the hell out of me.
Yep.
I'm really smart. I'm good at my job. I mean, again, Mike and I have had this conversation many times. There are only a handful of people that I will not go toe to toe with in intelligence.
Yep.
He's one of them. The other two I can think of off the top of my head, Jim and Wendy.
Yep.
And Wendy scares me more than anybody.
Well, it's, it's one of the things that we talk about once in a while, but it's like, we tell people all the time, find somebody that sees the potential in you.
Yep.
Because, right, like I worked for a company that just, I was a number, I showed up, I did whatever. Like, we talked about the evictions, we talked about me going to court. Like, I have people in my company that are like, I'm not going, like, who's going? And I'm like, so now the job I'm in, right, like I'm valued, I get the respect I want, like I choose my title, right?
Mhm.
Like people don't understand, I'm the executive regional manager,
Yep.
right? Like my wife likes to make fun of that aspect, but it's funny because my wife would be like, oh, her card says she's the regional manager. And I'm like, and you think that's cool, but I tell you I'm the executive regional manager, and you're like, yeah, but it's because you know me. Like, no, like I am, like I know the hell I'm doing. I know who I am. Like I am very valued at this company. Like I am the man, the myth, the legend, because I've devoted years of my life to understanding what the hell I do.
You should be the assistant to the regional manager.
Assistant to the regional manager.
Assistant regional manager.
Say, my name is Dwight Schrute. I am but no, like find a company that sees the value you see in yourself if you're actually giving that value.
Well, and I look at that a lot when I was coaching at Godwin. Let's face it, I was the best thing that happened to their softball program in 10 years. They hadn't done anything since 2000.
You had another team.
And I couldn't get along with
certain people.
We'll say
Yep.
certain people. Administration.
Oh my goodness.
Uh-oh.
Okay. I'm not going to say names, but I will let you know that the new person I work with, my accountant, her husband, his brother, so her brother-in-law,
Okay.
is the principal of Godwood.
Okay.
Yep.
He hired me.
Yep. And I said, I've had talks with him. He's a great guy.
He hired me. He also signed off on my firing.
Yes, but he has to. I mean,
Well, what can you do?
so that is the news of the day.
So anyways.
We were drinking together and he goes, yes, my brother. And I said, no crap. I said, I used to work for your brother for a couple minutes. I was like, hired in. He didn't fight who I was. He didn't care. There you go. I said, you know what it's like? So the athletic director, when I was there,
Yeah.
it was funny because David's like, hey, let's go introduce you to some people. I said, okay. I walk in, he goes, yeah, we're going to name you the athletic director. And he tells me the name of the guy. And I said, I can't meet this guy. He goes, why not? And I said, he used to be the I don't even know what my high school
He
had.
was the assistant athletic director.
Was that? But before that, he was a student administrator or
Yeah.
whatever. Like he would talk to us when we
Yep.
did negative things, and I was a negative kid, right? Like
Yep.
I'd
All
get in
the
trouble
time.
for constantly talking, doing whatever.
Yeah.
And so I go meet him, and I'm like, Jeff, how you doing? And he's like, good. I was like, and we talk, and I was like, he's like, yeah, you've changed. Good for you. You've grown up. And I'm like, hey, grow up. You grew up. Like fighting with this guy. No, so no. Well, it's just it's when you're in that position, you have to do what the thing that you feel is best for whatever.
Well, and again, I look at that, and you have to look at your ego, honestly.
Oh, very much.
And basically we had two big egos that could not get along.
Yeah.
And instead of, being a man about it, we just looked for stupid shit to fire people over.
Say, you looked real hard for that one. So,
I honestly made it as easy as possible. So, anybody that doesn't know, I got fired because my wife took a video of me singing Bohemian Rhapsody while I was drinking.
Yep.
And she goes, "Do you want me to post this?" And I said, "Why?" And she goes, "Because your coaching job." I'm like, "What are they going to do? Fire me? Fuck them." And they fired me. Which, I mean, honestly, I didn't give them much of a choice. But at the same time, you could, you could have had our back the entire fucking time. I mean, I was there 8 years.
Yep.
And it took me a long time to get to that boiling point of, you don't have my back, so kind of fuck you.
Well, and we didn't. It's funny because we never got the respect that we deserved for building what you built,
Right.
And the camaraderie and the constant like wanting to be there. I mean, we talk about Ariana, right? Like, oh man, Coach Nick, right? Oh, David, like, and she shows up. She still comes to see us. Like, so if we impacted one life, okay, you show me any other coach that's done that, and like I will show you that that's called a coach, right? Like anything else. I remember when I took over the bowling coach, he was a history teacher who cared about other things.
Yep.
And not a single one of the kids that I coached for the time could tell you his name and gave a crap, right? Like you cared about me as a person. Like that's the biggest key. Like there's not, all right, so I've done evictions for my personal self and I've done whatever. And yeah, okay, I'll see them here and there. But I'll still usually get a wave, a head nod, something. Because in the end, I've treated you with the respect that you deserve.
Well, I mean, you look at even the kids I coach now. So, we had our first games, and I think I've shared this off air, but I'll share it on air now. So we have a freshman. She's a lefty pitcher. She's talented. And I want her to learn some different pitches. I really want her to learn to drop.
Wouldn't that be great?
Oh, and she is just fighting me.
Circle change.
So she fights me and fights me and fights me. And I get to the point where I'm basically, I just wash my hands of it. I'm like, forget it, whatever. And I told Chris, I'm like, listen, I'm going to work with her, but I'm really not going to tell her how to do anything because I'm sick of the fight.
Yep.
I'm too old to care.
Yep.
So we hit the actual season and, we go through tryouts and we get done with tryouts and, her and I are working one day and I said, if we want this to be successful, we have to work together, which means you have to trust me and I have to trust you. And if we don't get to that point, we're just not going to have a real good season.
Yep.
And she goes, okay. And I was hoping that would get us to a good spot and we get to the first game and my number one pitcher, who was a sophomore, she has some foot issues. She had surgery on her feet in the middle of her freshman year and it didn't work. So they bother her a lot. So she's pitching really well and then, she kind of loses it a little bit. The defense is awful and we end up having to pull her and we put in the lefty pitcher. And she just starts mowing people down. And mind you, she doesn't throw that hard. She only throws about, between 50 and 52.
Sure.
Got a great changeup.
Which is home run speed.
Absolutely.
I mean,
got a great changeup, throws it about 35.
Yep.
But I mean, we were facing Wyoming and they just, first game jitters.
Sure.
They're okay, but not great.
Yep.
So they weren't hitting the ball real hard. She was just working through everybody. We get to the last batter. And I yell her name and I said, she looks at me and I said, hey, do you trust me? And she goes, yeah. And I told her I would never call a drop ball until I felt she was ready. I called one at that point. She threw it. It didn't do shit. But it was in a different location and a different speed than her fastball. And the girl tapped it, into an easy out and ended the game.
Yeah, which is huge.
And I think she figured out at that point, hey, he might not be dumb.
Let's say.
And that at the end of the day, if you don't look good, I'm not doing my job.
Well, we look at, so just for everybody listening, right? Like we look at anybody that's a Tigers fan, because we still have a bunch of Michigan fans, right? Like Phil Koch, right?
Yep.
I mean,
horrible pitcher.
When you're throwing things strictly across the middle in the wheelhouse,
yep,
and they go yarding you, and you have bases loaded or two men on, you have anything, I don't care, and they go yarding you, right? Like the amount of times, like you don't build confidence. But if you start listening to the signs that you're given and you get guys behind the plate, I mean, dude, this guy was getting fed signs from who we all agreed was top 10-5, Pudge Rodriguez, and you're getting fed signs and you're not listening to these signs. No, like we didn't ask you. All we asked you to do was do what you know how to do, throw the ball. We didn't ask you to call the game.
And I think that's where, a lot of people don't understand. And you can take that literally to anything in life.
Yeah.
If you're being told by somebody that's smarter than you, this is what I would do.
Yep. You
should probably listen to that.
I say, and you look at I didn't bring him up during the baseball episode, but oh shoot, sorry. He did all 9 positions for the Tigers. What's his last? Starts with Romine, Andrew Romine.
Okay.
Right? So played all 9 positions, pitched, right? Like throw the ball, like you know how hard it is for a MLB pitcher MLB hitter to hit a 40-mile-an-hour ball out of the park?
Not easy.
Like it's just so hey, guess what? Throw it 40 miles an hour, that ball's up in the air, like we're hoping and praying, catch out. Like these guys are pros, they can run to any spot in the world, right? Like, I mean, now if you're hitting a 90 mile an hour and you hit it up in the air, sure, it's gonna take them a minute to get there, but this is what it is, right? Like understand that where we come from is called knowledge, right? Because we've been there, we've seen it, we've watched it. I mean, you and I, one of the biggest things we took the girls to was my girl Jenny Finch.
Yeah.
Right? Like, hey, you want to be successful, this is what you do. You give time, you give effort, you give energy, you listen, you understand, you do. And she talked to these kids. And whether it sank in or not, but the fact is like, we watched her do what she did to be successful. Like the greatest pitcher of female sports in American history to date literally is giving you advice, and you're going to sit here and go, nah, I think I'm better than that. Okay, cool. What's your record? I'm sorry, you've lost a game? Cool. Let me know when you win a world championship. Until then, Steffu, right?
Well,
like,
and that's a lot of it right there. I mean, we talked about it a little bit ago. Mike and I sat down and we talked money. I didn't say I'm the be all end all. I didn't say I was great. I said I have more knowledge than what you have. This is, what I think.
Yeah. And
he sat there and he took some of that and, he made some moves and, getting out of that marriage, he had all of this debt.
Yep.
Debt gone?
Debt gone.
There you go.
Yeah, and that's the biggest key. And now, and so we go debt gone, we go getting by, and then all of a sudden, like it was the proudest day of my podcasting career was the fact that you're like, dividend stocks hit me. Like, I'm going to go just invest in dividends. Like, dude, the one thing that hits you, like, I don't care. It took us 8, 10, 12 months. I don't care how long it's been. But you look at Vanessa, who, if she's still listening, like, hey, I know she sat with David. Now she listens to another guy who has a gorgeous beard, a luscious mane. And it's like, right, she's going after her debt. Like, this is huge stuff for us. Like, we are not geniuses in any way.
No,
we are not retired.
We're not professionals. We don't say you should do what you do.
We don't have $100 million a year in funds that we're literally just wasting our time being here. We are just normal people that understand how to become. So you have the normal line, and we're above that, right? Like we understand. Hey, I want a little bit better in life.
Well, and at the end of the day, I mean, that's really what we're all looking for. We're looking for a little bit better life. Mm-hmm. And I hope we can help provide you with that little bit better life if you're listening. Take a little bit of what we say. Not everything, because not everything we say is going to apply to you. We talk about a lot of stuff that really doesn't apply to anybody, but, the fact that we like to talk to each other, we talk about beer a lot, that doesn't help anybody, but.
Yep. I mean,
the brewers and us, But, at the end of the day, we're hoping that you get something out of what we're talking about. Mike obviously did. He sat there and he goes, dividend stocks. I'd like to make some extra money. And I'm going to, instead of sitting around watching TV, I'm going to go do that.
Go ahead, Mike. That basically says you earn money on this and then you get more of it. To me, that's like, why not do it? Because, and the nice part about, like I said, Stash in public is you don't have to be able to afford an entire share of Apple. You can buy a quarter of a share of Apple and it'll turn into 0.3 shares of Apple.
And that's a great thing. Fractional shares are awesome because all of us know these big companies that make money.
Oh yeah.
And I don't necessarily have $3,500 to throw into Amazon. I don't necessarily like Amazon as a company, but I'll throw, if I can throw $100 into Amazon and they'll let me, I'll do that.
Well, and I want to talk about that. So this is really hard for me. Okay.
Yep.
So we talked about it on an episode. I think we talked about it on the Dan Price episode with Grant Cardone.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So
yeah, I remember you bringing this up.
Yeah. So I have the 10X book, okay, by Grant Cardone, which is going to change your mindset. It's going to, and I love the mindset. I love the idea. I love everything about that. My issue is when COVID hit, Grant Cardone laid off 90% of his staff, no questions asked, no anything. And I posted on my Metro Grand Rapids Real Estate Investors page for, and I said, look, you guys asked for real estate stuff. I've read 2 books in my life. Actually, the first one was read to me. Every book
was it Green Eggs and Ham?
No. So well, I know that one, but so let's talk. So Danny the Dinosaur, which is a kid's book, was read to me, and I knew it word for word because how much it was read to me. Okay. So I could fake it. There was a book called Number the Stars, which was read to me pretty young, and I memorized what it was about, and I did every book report on this book because I knew it. It's about a Jewish girl and German, Nazi and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so I did all my book reports up through high school about this book because I didn't have to read.
Right.
So everybody tells me about Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki, and it changed my life. It changed my life. And I listened to a million podcasts, and I heard this book so many times. So I decided I'm going to read this book. And I'm like, I read the book, and I was like, this is the dumbest waste of my life, right? Like, I had to get through it because I don't read. I just hate it. It's just so boring to me. And I read it, and I was so disappointed because I was like, I already get this shit. I don't understand it. Like, why the hell did I just read this book? And but everybody on my real estate thing is like, hey, I want to get a group together and talk about books and real estate. So I asked for 10X few years back, and I got it for Christmas, and so I posted on there. I was like, hey, all right, you guys want to read this? Let's start a little book thing. This is the only book I'm going to read. Like, somebody else can take control after. Let's talk about it. And so I started reading it, and I got through the introduction in like 2 pages of the first chapter, and Courtney's like, well, why do you seem so like hate? Because I don't enjoy who this is as a person, but I love the mindset. So I need to read this. I need to understand, because I need some more drive. I need to get to most people think, hey, $100,000 a year is good income, where Grant Cardone, we get you to understand that $1 million a year is your bare minimum thought process. And it works in my mind because like $10 million, this is where we're headed. Like, right. And so 10X. And so I was like, and so it's really hard for me to read because I don't respect the asshole. But his mindset and his understanding and the way he teaches it, that's going to be something, right? Like, so it's hard. It's hard but he's a person that's doing it. And okay, I know that I won't have his, last I knew he's like $500 million of net worth. Okay, so even if I do half that because I don't respect him enough and I don't fully get into it, $250 million is a hell of a lot more than when I was doing it. Yep. 10,000 a year when I first started working a job, right? Like, so grow that mindset. So, I think there's so much, if we talk about it in coaching, right? Trust in the person that you're dealing with. Trust in I'll take your responsibility. If the person goes yarding you for hitting a 23 mile an hour fast, or change up, they deserved it. Okay, let's be honest. Like, just say that, if you placed it right where it was and they just read it, good for them.
Well, up until this year, the last game I coached was districts, and the last run we gave up was on a outside fastball.
Yeah,
Outside being in the left-handed batter's box, and the girl still pulled it 220 feet.
good for her.
I called timeout and I went out there and I said to my pitcher, I'm like, hey, you put it right where I asked you to, and I don't think it's landed yet.
Yeah.
She did everything I asked her to, and that sometimes the hitter beats you, and that's what's supposed to happen. You know, pitchers are supposed to get you out, hitters are supposed to beat you.
Yep.
There's no shame in any of that, you know, and again, trust is the ultimate thing. So, you know, I think next week I'm going to try to set up an episode of, you know, building a business and living your beliefs in the business. You know, this is kind of near and dear to my heart because, you know, we have a business and, you know, my daughter's a lesbian.
Yeah.
And, you know, today my wife got some hate from Caitlin's biological father's side of the family, which, you know, for anybody that doesn't know, she's my stepdaughter, even though it doesn't seem that way. And really kind of pissed me off because it turned into Dawn's a bad mom because she allowed her daughter to be gay, which just chaps my ass. And, you know, we're very vocal in our business about, you know, everybody matters.
Well, I give you guys shit for it all the time because, right, it says everybody matters. And then I give you crap because you can't accept less than 12 or something like that. I was like, I thought you said everybody. No, but like insurance won't allow it, right? And it's not something that you guys do, but you know, we'll get into that way more.
Well, I'm hoping to be able to have on another small business owner that, you know, Dawn knows really well because she lives in an adjacent community to Grand Rapids. And we've got nothing but positive feedback on everything Dawn posts about LGBTQ stuff or Black Lives Matter or any of that stuff. It's all been overwhelmingly positive.
Yep.
She, with the place she lives in, has gotten almost entirely negative.
Sure.
I mean, she gets a lot of love from outside of the community. She gets some love from inside the community, but for the most part, they're just redneck assholes that hate everybody that doesn't look like them.
Yeah, I mean, and we'll talk about that. You know, I know we have an episode coming up. I drunkenly texted you because a friend of mine used to be the vice president of a very big Midwest corporation.
Yeah.
Vice president. I mean, and he's like, yeah, I'll talk to you about starting from the bottom and getting to where I was in retirement. Like, so I'm very excited about that episode. We talked about it, very excited about a follow-up with Vanessa again. We have a few other, we keep talking about
Eric
the kid.
and Gary and
The kid.
Steven that at some point we're going to talk to.
We're just going to talk to him, tell him he's the kid. Like, we just talked about Mike's a couple $1,000. Like, I'm excited to get him back on and talk about, hey, this is where I'm at. This is what I'm thinking. This is how I'm going to do it. Like, I'm very excited about the episodes that are coming up.
Well, I mean, we talk about long-term goals. My long-term goal is I'd like to be sitting here, you know, 5 years from now talking about, hey, yeah, we're all basically retired and Vanessa cannot wait for the next update. Good things. I love that. That's awesome. But, you know, I'd like to be able to sit here and we're all knocking on retirement and saying, yeah, I don't need to do this anymore. I'm doing it because I don't mind doing it, not because I have to.
That's why I'm here.
Yeah.
I mean, like, people,
I've got 7 years.
it's hard.
That's
Like,
when I stopped paying jobs.
I'm retired, right? Like, people ask me all the time, what do you do? And I'm like, look, you know, I do this, but honestly, I don't, if I didn't want to wake up that next morning and get out of bed, I don't have to, right? I've worked my butt off to get to where I am, right? I have devoted myself to get to this spot in life. It cost me a lot along the way, and people don't understand. Like, I've lost friends because guess what? Like, when I'm at your house and this person calls and says I need this, yeah, I'm there. I'm not with you. Like, if my daughter calls, sure, that costs me money, and I'll call somebody else. But if it's something that I'm just spending time with you, like, I've been at your house and gotten called away, right? Like, oh, hey, cool, Nick will be back. Like, you'll wait 2 hours until I get back. But the fact is it gets handled, like, because that is what makes me financially successful.
Well, and if again, we talk about the friends you spend time with.
Yeah.
If you really know these people, if you're really friends with these people, you understand what's important to them. Like, I thought, so I work a lot. Okay.
Yeah.
I obviously work my full-time job, 40 hours a week. Now I'm in the middle of the season, so I'm doing that every day after work. I have break room therapy 4 days a week, which, usually I don't have to come in on Sundays, and she tries not to have me come in on Thursdays, so it's only 2 days a week. But last week I had to come in Thursday, I had to come in Friday, I had to come in Saturday. On Friday, I'm literally texting people like Mike going, I can't keep doing this. I'm burned out. I cannot freaking be here. And he's like, how about you just take tomorrow off and I'll work for you. And then I get a text in the morning and he's like, hey, I didn't know my sister's coming in from out of town and there's no way I can make it up today. I'm really, really sorry. And my response was, hey, it's no big deal. I was going to go in anyways.
At least you
had said that. You said that you didn't expect your wife to have Saturday.
Yeah, I wasn't, even if she had said take Saturday, it's a busy day. I know I need to be here.
Yep.
And she let me leave a little early on Friday, which helped. She let me leave a little early on Saturday, which helped. I'm off this week, so I'm at least recharging my juice.
Yep.
But you can only work so long, and to have a support system like Mike that's like, hey, I'll come up and work, so you don't have to. He works a full-time job. He doesn't need to do that, and he doesn't make any money when he's here, just like I don't make any money when I'm here.
Yep. Well, and so here's I texted one of my owners today, right? So I'm managing a crap ton of properties, and I'm constantly busy. And I took this job as part-time.
Which is not part-time.
Correct.
Yep.
And my wife's not happy with that.
Yep.
So, but I texted one of my owners today, and I said, let me read this verbatim,
Okay.
because it's more fun this way. Capital you owe me golf, right? Capital golf. The tenant is so capital happy, loves the new locks. Response I get, done. Why? Because I went above and beyond. I did everything. You know what? And I keep saying, hey, I want to go golfing. Tomorrow's gonna be 80 degrees. There's gonna be some rain. But my big ass is gonna be doing 9 holes tomorrow. He said done. I don't care what it costs me. I'm gonna go golf at cheap Maple Hill for $15 for 9.
Yep.
I'm gonna drink beer at 9 a.m. I'm gonna golf and I'm gonna send him the bill. I'm gonna write the bill and he's gonna go, what is this for? Why do I have this? And I'm gonna go, you just paid $23 for golf. 23. Granted, he's in New York. He's gonna think it costs $75, but it costs $15 to golf and it costs $6 for my 3-pack, right? Or whatever it is. You're paying for the entire experience, you're paying for everything, and that's what I'm getting out of it. That's what I'm charging you for everything I've done for you. And you're gonna go, and all he's gonna do is go, oh yeah, completely fine, cool, it's done, consider it. The problem is he's gonna look at me and go, you gotta go there every time and be like, nope, next time I'm going to Mecatone Legends, right? Private country club stuff.
So I think it's about time we wrap it up. Huge shout out to Mitten with their awesome variants of peanuts and Cracker Jacks.
Absolutely love the Imperial peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I liked the banana cream PB&J. I only had a small amount, but the Imperial was fantastic. Tried the raspberry. That was very good. Between all of us, I think we all enjoyed the pomegranate blueberry. Mike's Hard
was excellent.
Surprising how good that was.
It was excellent.
It screams summer to me. As always, like, subscribe, share. Subscribe, but if you don't hit the down because I know you're going to watch the next episode to see if you hate that even more.
Yeah.
Because we've suckered you in. Vanessa, thanks again for listening, giving all the hearts. Really appreciate it.
Mike, you got anything for everybody?
It was fun to participate and be live. I came up to spend some time with Caitlin and the family and, for her birthday. And it was great to be live again, like I was a week and a half ago for the baseball episode.
That baseball episode was a lot of fun. I think we need to do a football episode in the fall.
We do.
Everybody, again, thanks for listening. Thanks for subscribing. We'll have a fresh new episode for you next week. since I'm off this week, I'm getting stuff up on the YouTube. So check out the YouTube. As always, we really enjoy being here with you, and we'll catch you next time. And for those of you on YouTube, hopefully this will be uploaded soon, and we will see you next time as well.
Yeah, so if not, we'll definitely see you sometime soon.
True story.